Do you have a underdog stock for the year?
Well, as I have spoken about CPJ earlier, I think that tourism is heading back in full force, right? And
Mm,
what I realized was that the amount of profit that they're making now, they've never made this much profit in the entire
ever.
existence of the
Yeah.
company, right?
Mm,
And with 2019 on record being the best year for tourism for Jamaica, and
hmm.
we're actually approaching 2019 numbers.
We haven't
The
passed it out.
I think an article said we did recently,
I
the
think they
most
said
recent
for the
article.
arrivals in June. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wonder if I can
with
find that.
Bartlett.
Where's the article?
Because
Let me
what I know is
see.
that if they were making that much profit from reduced number of visitors when in the year 2021, the potential that they have for onward when Jamaica is everybody's getting back to traveling. Everybody wants to travel
Hmm.
now, right? People miss their family. People want a vacation. People been having the whole it's a cabin fever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Jamaica is getting a lot more publicity in terms of tourism as well because I think Edmund Bartlett is the I think he's the head of some. I don't want to get the name wrong, but he's leading the charge in terms of recovery for tourism in the Caribbean
Mm,
for post-COVID era, right? So with him on in charge there, it has a lot of potential to funnel into Jamaica. And as we realize, we have a lot of hotels also coming up in Jamaica as well. Because even recently we had the Joel Joel at Duns River Sandals. I think Sandals bought that Duns River Joel hotel and they refurbish it. And I think that they will be open for bookings within 2023 going forward. And I also believe that there are a lot of other hotel establishments coming up as well. So I think they
mhm.
have like 8,000 rooms or something in that ballpark coming up over the next 2 to 3 years. So I think that really bodes well for CPJ in terms of they have they found they found how to be more efficient, right? And with efficiency, you're reducing out of costs, and with increased visitors, increased revenue. Yeah, that I think they should do
Hmm.
well over
And it's
the
not just
course
that.
of the
Like for
year.
example, some of the, as you mentioned, that they're trying to change the typical. They're trying to increase the amount of countries that we basically market to. So, for example, Saudi
Hmm.
Arabia, that's been a very big push for Bartlett, and I think even what's her name? Was it Camino? I
Yeah,
remember
Camino.
maybe a couple months. I'm trying to see if I can find the article. There's like a couple months ago, there was a Jamaica, I think a Jamaican festival that they put
Yeah,
on in Dubai
in
to try
Dubai.
to
Yeah, it was in Dubai.
encourage Jamaican festival, and it was try to um make more people come to the hair, and then look at, for example, there's just lots of different things because the airport in St. Mary, Ian Fleming, you notice
Hmm.
how there are literally flights coming every week now. That, yeah, that isn't necessarily huge volumes, but the thing is that that's more like upper,
Higher network clients. Yeah,
yeah, high net
and
worth individuals.
I remember that from Dollar Prospectus.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even because what I didn't one of the things that I didn't look at initially was recently when my friend went to the North Coast and found out for like one of the restaurants there that supply the tourists, which company actually supplies them goods, and it's CBJ because they are
Mm,
really the main distributor to the entire hospitality sector. And when you think about the hospitality sector, it's not only hotels, it's also the the surrounding food places that these tourists also go to. So, and as we said
mm,
earlier, I think we said earlier where they are also pushing heavy on retail. I've never
in the
seen,
supermarket, yeah.
I've never seen so many CPG branded products within the supermarket themselves, and it's becoming more apparent that they don't want to focus just on tourism because that was the main issue with them from before, because when tourism went downhill, they were at losses, right? And with them now pushing the whole retail, they want to make sure that okay, they at least have an avenue for when tourism isn't as booming, or you have the off quarters, we still have some revenue coming from.
Diversification.
Exactly, exactly. And even they increased the expanded their store in Montego Bay to make it
Mm.
more to be. I think I don't remember the phrase that they
They
used
up
to call it,
they just
but
upgraded it. CPJ.
yeah, they upgraded it. But they wanted it to have not only stuff for um, retail
Oh, business to
clients.
business and business to
Yeah,
customer or
exactly.
consumer.
Yeah, and they're also expanding in Draxall as well. And we know that Draxall will now be the new hub for those um, for tourists in that area, because that Draxall complex has the KFC, and we've seen the lines for the KFC. And when tourists come here, and if they should go to KFC in that place, or it even has Starbucks, so that complex in itself
Mm.
is is an attractive complex, and CPJ goes there. And I believe that Fontana will also be in that complex as well, right? So in that aspect, I think over the next few years, CPJ should be one a company that. When's the last time that CPJ paid a dividend? The last,
Mm.
let me check, because I
It's been
feel
a
like
while. I mean, MJE wouldn't mind that. I
uh,
see they declared one November 20. Hold on. They had a meeting November 17th, 2017. And
2017.
yeah, and they paid it on January the 19th, 2018. So the last dividend was paid early 2018.
Yeah, and that right there, I think that
So
was around the
over
time.
3 years.
Approaching 4 years.
Over three
Hmm.
years. And I believe that at the point that they actually choose to, whichever whenever that is, because I know that they're currently they had the whole restructuring arrangement agreement with was it Mayberry Investment Limited?
You talk about the refinancing they did recently?
Not just the refinancing, but also the brokerage
Oh, the other
services.
notice. Oh
Hmm.
yeah. Let me find that and pull it up. I mean, Wigton did something similar too. So you see in the CPJ and the Wigton, Mayberry making the moves, and then Mayberry recently announcing um about the change up too. We could probably touch on that. But yeah, I found a notice. So this came out July 7th.
Hmm.
Today is July 10th, 2022, and it says CPJ, Caribbean Producers Jamaica Limited, wishes to advise that it has entered into financial advisory and brokerage services agreement with Mayberry Investments. And then
Hmm.
Mayberry is they are a top 10 shareholder through MJE. They're probably, I think they're an associate.
Hmm.
So they own what, 20% of it? Or a
Let's
little
see.
over 20%. Let me see. Right now, they own 20.1% at this time.
Mm,
Yeah, and they say under the terms of the agreement, Mayberry will provide financial advisory and brokerage services in respect of certain current business development and expansion opportunities for CPJ within Jamaica and the Caribbean. So basically, they can help them maybe possibly sort out some deals. I mean, CPJ in the past has spoken about wanting to do a
acquisition.
APO with rights issue features or elements. And then they said that it was supposed to be to fund an acquisition. They
Mm,
haven't said. I'm not sure if they've actually told us any more stuff about like, the acquisition. I don't think they have. So
no, they haven't.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
but
remember in the group I was like, yo, imagine if they were to buy Rainforest.
oh yeah, because they're pushing into the whole seafood space right now.
Yeah, and I think I'm trying to remember if I think CPJ has a presence in Saint Lucia already.
Yeah, they
Don't they
do.
have like some stores there? And then I think I saw recently that Rainforest was expanding into more into St. Lucia. Let me see if I can
Oh, you saw
find it.
that?
Yeah, let me see. I think we had sent it in the group. So
There
there's
was
a
a
rainforest.
oh yeah, yeah. There's I just remember there was a interview with Mark Hart and I think Chris Berry was on, and he asked them about the seafood as
Oh
well.
yeah.
It was a Mayberry Investor Forum, and it's like he's hearing things about the seafood. Tell us about the seafood, and they literally could not say anything about it. Right? They were just like they were fully silent. So to me, I mean, you know, if not rainforest, it could be down the seafood avenue. But it would be very interesting if they did acquire rainforest.
Yeah,
That would be
because see,
massive.
Yeah.
they're one of their competitors. Cause like when you if you go buy the shrimp in like some of the supermarkets, the high low, the general foods, you see CPJ shrimp, the CPJ branded one that
Hmm.
they do, and then they also distribute. There's this other one, Panama shrimp or something like that.
Panama. I think that's it. I
Panama,
think.
yeah, and then you'll see rainforest. But the thing is, CPJ distributes both their own branded shrimp and then the Panama or whatever shrimp, and then imagine them also owning rainforest. uh,
That
but I think
space.
so. I found the article that I was talking about them expanding into some countries, like for example Saint Lucia. So it's July came out July 1st, 2022.
Hmm.
Rainforest immense presence in Eastern Caribbean. I sent in the chat. It said they have expanded their presence to 5 countries in the Caribbean, as they are trying to be a regional seafoods and agro processing entity. And then they say they're in countries like Barbados, Belize, St. Lucia. They recently opened a plant in St. Vincent. And then they have Jamaica. So they are in St. Lucia. And then they said that we are about to open a new distribution center in St. Lucia, from which we will distribute product to hotels, supermarkets, and restaurants, etc. That's a CPJ.
Hmm.
That sounds like a CPJ competitor.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It does.
I don't think. I'll have to look at the size of say, rainforest. But then the thing
But
is, the CPJ is main market, so they literally could
yeah, purchase.
raise a huge amount of money. Like, look at what the tourism industry is recovering.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But I also think CPJ's presence in St. Lucia is more retail based. But I think I read something in that
Mm.
regard. It's more retail based versus to the tourism sector. But
I
if
think they
they
have a
wanted to,
supermarket
Yeah, but then
there.
that's the thing.
hmm
Why not go into that market
yeah,
by
exactly,
buying?
exactly, exactly.
A rainforest are big
Oh,
still.
I see a little. This isn't even really an article. It's a little blurb. Radio Jamaica News Online. CPJ expanding operations in St. Lucia, and then they say this was July 8th, 2021. CPJ ventured into the supermarket business in St. Lucia during the pandemic. It's been operating since May. Um, and they think over the next. Oh no, this is being vague, but yeah. So they only mention this thing about the supermarket.
Hmm. Yeah, but I mean, other than CPJ, I think that as the year progresses, I'll see more opportunities because for this upcoming earning season, um, because what I really do, one of the things that I also do to manage my time, because now I'm entering
Mm.
into final year as well, right? And
Mm.
final year MBBS and all that stuff.
All the
So
best, bro. All the best.
thank you, sir. Yeah. So in terms of like the amount of work that I put in, it's where I find a company and I look into that company properly because I want to be able to ignore the noise that's out there. So I find a good company, stick to that company, put all of my time into that company from early, leave the money there, and go through my whole medicine, focusing on medicine at that time. So that's the approach I've been taking since the year started. So I did it for tropical, and I didn't really pay much attention to anything else other on the market because the way I see it, remember opportunity cost. It's where two stocks might be there, but one might give you a higher percentage yield than the other. Not because you don't have to be in every company that's out there, right? Because you don't
Mm-hmm.
want to
Mm-hmm.
spread yourself thin. So
Mm-hmm.
in that way, I find a few good companies, look on which companies might give me the best return, and the things that are surrounding the companies that can help to push the stock price, because things like acquisitions, mergers, and rights issue, stock split, all those factors are
Mm-hmm.
usually
No
drives
love for results.
hmm?
No love for results.
No, of course results, bro. Of course results, but things surrounding that and results as well, right? So
Mm-hmm.
those other those other factors that help to give investors a little spice in the day and all that stuff, right? So all those things I really have to take into consideration, because you don't want to be in a stock where, okay, yeah, they're posting good results, but they're being drowned out by the other good companies on the market. Because um, let's say, for instance, I don't know if we can. I think it's public, the whole one-on-one thing,
Mm-hmm.
like that they're going to come to market and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they said
Yeah,
sometime this year,
yeah. Even the
and they've been in the
whole,
news more recently, so we'll see.
a lot more, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even things like that where you have, I can use a dollar example pretty well, because something exciting comes about, drones all the noise from all the stocks that you're in, because it's not as exciting, or the things that they posted. Yeah, you have good results, but it's not anything significant to help you make significant gains, right? So it's where you
Mm-hmm.
have to sift through all those companies, because yeah, we expect that certain companies will post certain results, and we're expecting good results from multiple companies. But at the end of the day, you have to, you can't be in all of them, because diversification. Well, people say diversify. That's what that's what I heard when I just started investing. I need to
Mm-hmm.
diversify and spread my risk and all of that. But nobody really asked, okay, what's the risk appetite, or it's just one set thing when you start. Yeah, buy NCB, buy this, buy that, buy that. But at the end of
Mm-hmm.
the day, do they really try to understand your goals? And that's why your goals are also important, because yeah, you go buy NCB for X price. So remember when you guys were in the market when NCB went up to two above 200?
Yeah.
No, I don't think I was.
Oh yeah, I was definitely
Yeah,
in the market. Yeah.
yeah. NCB went up to above 200, and I've been like, yeah,
Mm.
NCB, blue chip stock. Let's purchase the blue chip stock, because I remember you guys also spoke about blue chip stocks on one of your episodes, and like
Mm-hmm.
it's where people generally, or advisors typically, use that as to, okay, invest in this for the long term, but not really trying to understand the goals that the person have. And that's one of the major things that you have to really try to understand. So in terms of me doing this final year and making sure that I do a lot of research and in the early stages, so I can be comfortable with my stock going up and down every day, because we know stocks don't move in one direction, right?
Mm-hmm.
People buy and sell every day. So it's where I have
Nah,
to
bro.
be able to.
Stonks only go up, bro. Stonks only go up.
Stocks only go.
Mm-hmm.
So in that regard, it's where, as time as I move throughout this year, I look on the opportunities for each quarter per se. I would say I look on opportunities on a quarterly basis, and yeah, I think that's how I really look on it when I think about it, on a quarterly versus as for the entire year.
Okay. I have a question for you, Owen. So like if your mid class was listening to this whole podcast, right? What advice would you give them like right now?
The only advice that start investing, because all right, you see, when reality hits you and you start working at the hospital, you're working mad hours, you're working duties till you're tired. What, 72 hours duties? 72-hour duties? I don't know how
Yeah.
the yeah
And those are the bad ones. Yeah.
yeah right. You want to give yourself some room. You want to give yourself some room to be able to say, okay, all right, I don't have to do this extra duty because I'm making money elsewhere. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
where once you have a set foundation in investing, whatever you start with, that like people always ask me, how much money do you think I should start with? It's what
Mm-hmm.
you have, it's what you're willing to invest, and it doesn't matter how small it is, as long as you compound on that amount, right? Because as I said,
You were saying
continuous
the same thing about the duties thing though. That really hit me hard because Preston always asks me, "Oh, why do you still the duties there?" And like, he always does it, always. Even after the last episode we did, and we're talking about
hmm
Siboney, and we're just talking about like how much I put in for Siboney and so on, and the man's just like, "So, bro, you're still working duties at the hospital?" I'm just like, yeah, because I how I allocate my money, especially when I was doing like a lot of duties, is I would put all
hmm
my base pay into the market. So everything I
hmm
have like base pay into the market, and then whatever money I make off duties, I live off of. So that incentivizes me
oh
to do duties because I still need a basic amount to live off of. So if I want to
yeah
splurge for the month, I need to work hard for the month. So
yeah
yeah, but I mean,
I
you're
fully get
right
that.
in that sense. Yeah, you're fully right in that sense where it's not even just not doing duties. It's as an investor for me, it gives you options. And I think that's the
Right,
brilliant part about
definitely.
investing because once you have money, you have more options to the other things. You
Right.
can, and in the doctor sense, of course, because that's what all three of us can relate to. It can be the duties thing, right? Where
hmm
you don't have to work 10, 12 duties a month just to pay back the student loan. You're
Exactly.
in the market trying to make back the money. You have a goal. Let's say your goal, some people's goal is to pay back off the student loan, right?
hmm
Mm-hmm.
So you could start with an amount, set a dollar figure. Let's say it's 5 mil in the next 10 years that you want to make to pay back the student loan. And let's say it's a monthly amount, right? You need to be
hmm
making at least that monthly amount, or at least that yearly amount. All right, let's do it on a yearly basis from the market. So you could set that as a
hmm
target. All right, you could say, all right, I need to make at least for the next 5 years, I need to make a mil off, or I need to make 100K off the market in order to pay back some.
Exactly.
So you can
hmm
use the market to those tools to that effect is what I should say. So even in that case, like it's always good to have it, but it's always better to have more money than less money because with more money you get
And
more options.
as governor say, slow money is better than no money. So
I always remember, so slow money is better than no money.
it you just continuously compound, and when you actually start working and actually, because you'll have bills and all that stuff to pay and all of that. So it's better to put yourself in a position where you're not just saving, you're not just putting the money in a savings account and your money not growing in any way. At least start with something, right? At least start with 5,000 or whatever the case is. At least you
Yeah,
can know that you have something that's building up for next. As you start increasing your pay, you take more and putting it in investing, and the next 10 years, like people, I think one of the things that people fail to understand is that you you can't just get rich quick like that. It's not just one time thing where you can go buy a lotto and make a 300 million or whatever the case be in
Or you
that
can go
point in
buy
time.
SBL shares.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
because
So
people are buying scratchers, bro. But if you did buy scratchers before scratchers, like when scratchers just come on the market, when SVL was under $20,
yes,
and SVL
I
right now is
remember that.
$30.
I
Yeah,
remember that.
50%. Yeah.
I remember
yeah,
when I was
yeah.
talking about SBL when it was at $20, and the next day, because I think on that day I had set an alert, but um my money JA, I think they were fixing a bug with that, and
Mm,
the alert didn't come through. And then when I came back and checked the market, it would have been above the price that I wanted to buy. So I was like, wow, that just fly, and I couldn't
mm,
um, mobilize cash fast enough to get on it. And then yeah, but
mm. Why were you
SVL
waiting to
instead,
buy?
because I was already in
Something else.
yeah, something else. So I've been like, okay, once this thing,
When remember what you were in?
I think it was the same time around Tropical CPJ.
Mm,
Yeah, because
yeah.
that would have been the same quarter that they posted the $1 billion in profit.
$1 million.
And
Yeah.
Mm, it was
with
Q1, January to March this year. The drop, yeah,
mhm.
996 mil.
And as we get back into normalcy, because I remember a part of it is that they also own Acropolis at Barbican, right?
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah, and I remember they were saying that majority of their revenue from that would have been like in the wee hours of the night going into early
It's not
morning
even
where
just that, you know. I think they said it for just in general for their business.
hmm
Most of their business used to be within like the later hours, like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock.
yeah,
So the
exactly.
lockdowns really, really affected them.
Yeah, it really
So
did.
and then March, it was March they were lifted, or early March, I think, and then the results only included a part of that, and
hmm
yeah.
Yeah, how do you guys see SVL um going forward?
I see. I think they're gonna maybe try to expand the services that maybe Michaela Financial Services offers, or maybe they even try buy. I wonder if they try buy, for example, another microfinance company, maybe through Michaela,
hmm
or I wonder if they could even do it through maybe Mayberry. You meant the change up that they are supposedly doing,
Yeah. As in the
Mayberry
group.
Investments.
Oh
Yeah, they
yeah, as
said
in
is they're forming Mayberry Investments Limited, which is listed here. What they're doing is they're creating a
A new parent
holding
company,
company.
basically.
I think
Yeah.
it's, let me pull
Mayberry
this up. I
Group
think it's
Limited.
but then that's domiciled in Saint Lucia. But then in Saint Lucia, for example, because um
It's like a tax
because
haven.
yeah, so you don't end up paying
Hold on. Owen's
um
gone. Oh, Owen
oh, he's
came back.
back.
Yeah.
You don't end up paying corporate income tax on, for example, the dividends, because Saint Lucia doesn't. You don't have to pay that because the business is domiciled in or set up in Saint Lucia, so you get that benefit from setting it up
it's
there.
a IBC,
And what does that stand for again?
International Business Company.
Hmm.
I think International Business Company.
Yeah. So Mayberry the group will basically almost become Mayberry Investments. Well, no, she even said that. So Mayberry the group
So I think
would
Mayberry
own.
Investments, yeah, Mayberry Group Limited will
Mm-hmm,
own MIL. So everything will be
mm-hmm.
under that, and then MIL still holds MJE
No,
and
but I
stuff.
think no. I think Mayberry the group owns MJE and then it owns MIL. I have to double check.
I
So I
just
don't
read
think
that.
it's me.
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
Hold
Hold
on,
on, let me find it first.
I drew it out. One sec. So I have a picture. So yeah, MI before MIL would own MJE and Widebase. Now they're making Mayberry the group. Mayberry the group will own Widebase. Mayberry the group will own MJE, and then Mayberry the group will own Mayberry Holdings Limited, and
Which
then Mayberry
owns
Holdings Limited will own
MIL
Mayberry Investments
Investments.
Limited.
Nice,
So
nice,
yeah,
nice.
that's a bit more advanced, but I mean, basically they're just changing up different aspects of their business. Because for example, MJE is Mayberry's stock portfolio. So
hmm
Or Jamaican
yeah,
stock portfolio. It's
well, I
Mayberry. It's
don't think they're really
Jamaican.
in the US. I don't think they're in the US market,
Oh,
really. In terms of like the US stock market. I think they said
they
Gary Perry talks
exited.
about it like the, yeah, which I mean it's probably for the benefit. Look at the gains they've made on the Jamaican market. Plays like CPJ, they're buying CPJs from threes and whatever. Um, but yeah. something I was mentioning is suppose this move is in relation to, for example, SVL or just the microfinance sector. Like, they say that one of the reasons is that I think the regulations faced by Mayberry Holdings Limited would be easier than or lighter than the regulations faced by Mayberry Investments Limited. So they can basically move faster instead of having to get regulatory approval for certain moves.
Yeah.
They supposedly wouldn't need that. So then
hmm
I'm wondering, could that help them, for example, to make acquisitions more? So if they wanted to buy a microfinance company or something or another company, maybe
hmm
they would do it that way because it would be supposedly easier. That's something that I was thinking about.
You're thinking that Mayberry Holdings would acquire um, a microfinance company?
Possibly. Yeah, because if my understanding is correct, then it could make it easier for them, and then maybe that's what they're. But the thing is, they're applying for it. We should be, yeah,
hmm
because the thing is, technically, it could be denied, but I don't think so. But yeah,
I don't know if
um,
it can because there is a law
mm, I mean,
where if the parent company is like domiciled in St. Lucia, you have to use. I need to check up the name. I remember hearing the name recently.
you have to use what?
Basically, it's like when the parent company is domiciled in, like let's say like St. Lucia, right? Then you have
Mm-hmm.
to you can it kind of if they're the parent company being domiciled in St. Lucia, then whatever subsidiary you have in Jamaica has to follow. They don't necessarily follow the tax laws of Jamaica. They follow the tax laws of St. Lucia. So in terms of like even that
hmm
corporate tax, it would be of course much less. Or I don't know if there's any. I think it's maybe 1%. I'm not sure.
Mm,
And then the dividend tax wouldn't count. Wouldn't have that
so
15% dividend
basically,
tax.
go up by 15%. And the thing is, they just paid but they are due to pay a dividend. They said they're gonna pay one if you're a shareholder September 29th. If you're on record June 29th, so you'll get the money, the MIL dividend, which is 28 cents. Which, I mean, at the current yield, that's not bad. I mean, the current price, that's what, 2.8% yield. I guess
That's
that's
what.
before
That's June.
before the dividend that should be coming. Well, I guess it depends on which price
That's
you're
for
using.
That's if you're a shareholder as of when? June 29?
June
June
29.
29.
So like
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, so at $10, the 28 cents before fees is 2.8%. Hmm. But yeah. So you said your underdog for the year is CPJ.
For the year, at this point in time,
Mm,
because I believe that there's still a lot of room for them to grow in terms of their revenue base and profitability.
mm,
So with everything returning back to normalcy, hopefully this monkeypox thing doesn't get out of hand,
mm,
because it'd just be like a whole recurrence of the whole pandemic of COVID. So, but other than that, things do look well for them going forward.
mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So where you see them? You want to make a prediction?
All right. So the thing is, a prediction. All right. So by the end of the year,
Mm-hmm.
Not financial advice, you know. I would say that again.
not financial advice,
Yeah.
not financial advice at all, at all, at all. Um, so there's certain things that we have to take into consideration, because if
So you just not get a prediction, but
if if no no if they do that APO, you know how that go,
yeah.
right?
The thing is,
Yeah,
you don't
you
you,
know how that
you
go.
don't think that maybe MJE would want it to be
All right, issue.
done. well, not necessarily a rights issue, but I mean, they could still do the APO and I don't know, buy up the shares after market. I don't know, because the thing is, it would 'cause with
I don't
MJE.
know.
Remember, they want they have to pay attention to NAV. So it's like if
Hmm.
they did the APO in
Oh,
such
that's
a way
true.
that it caused the CPJ share price to be low, then that would be something like, because I think it's how much
Bad for
percent,
them.
isn't it like
Yeah.
their second largest holding for their portfolio behind SVL, which is half.
Yeah, it's the second largest. It's the second largest. I
Yeah.
think SVL is about 40 something percent, and
Let me
um,
find.
CPJ is around 20 something
So
percent. Last time I
Up
checked
to
it.
March 31st, 2022, it was
Hmm.
SVL was top 10 largest holding. So the top 10 largest holdings, SVL was at the top. So a percentage of total value of investments, 47.2%. And then CPJ is
Hmm.
CPJ is 16.7% of their portfolio. So
Oh,
literally their
16%.
portfolio is
Okay.
CPJ, SVL, and then everything else. So if for example CPJ's share price wasn't doing very well, that's not gonna be nice
Yeah,
for them. Because that literally CPJ and SVL is 64% of, yeah, basically 2/3 of
the
their
entire portfolio.
portfolio. Yeah.
Hmm.
So I don't know.
So I
I've
guess that could something could be
done.
if they do make it in the way that they said that okay APO it's a rights issue component, then we can actually see some appreciation there. And
Mm,
probably at the end of the year, I'd say above 30 at the end of the year.
mm.
But
But that's if
I'd have
it.
to
Hold on, but you're saying it will hit 30 by the end of the year, or you're saying on like December it's gonna be 30?
December. No, I wouldn't say December. I would be like it would be around the February earnings season. It'd be around that time. But we
Uh-huh.
also have to take into account that
February. Oh
I
wait, so
think
next. Hold on.
Yeah, so
You
end
said.
of the when Q4 results of this year would drop. So October, November, December results would
Oh, so
drop
basically next year
February
you're
next
saying
year.
then.
yeah.
Oh,
February.
so yeah, okay, I get what you're
Man,
Um,
man,
saying.
there again. Man want him heartbroken a second time. A joke, a joke, a joke.
yeah. So, but it also compares to how well they perform to compared to the
Hmm.
That
You're
Christmas
expecting a big
quarter.
report this quarter?
I mean, the company is getting. Oh, this quarter.
this quarter.
Yeah, coming. Well, April, the coming. Well, I can say both. So the April to June versus the July to September this year.
All right. So I did see the travel numbers. They were saying that the travel numbers are past 2019 numbers now, but
Hmm.
also I haven't seen the traffic report on the Mexican airport website because usually what I usually use that to assess the amount of persons coming in and the amount of supplies that the hotels or the tourist industry itself might need from CPJ. Because I remember one of the things that made me sell CPJ early
Hmm.
in the last earning season was there were two things that had me concerned. They had um, an increase in interest income, and there was no indication of what contributed to that interest income, as well as the fact that uh, Omicron was around early December. So it would have been early December, flights would have been getting cancelled around that time,
Hmm.
and then I could see it being reflected in the numbers for January and February arrivals because at that time the arrivals were around 200, around mid 200,000s
Hmm.
versus March where it went up to I think 385, 385 in that regard. Let me double check because I should have it here.
Hmm.
Yeah, the interest that was significantly higher than the previous quarter, and they didn't have any documentation as to what really contributed to that interest income line at that time. Because I think that contributed at least 500 million to the um, bottom line. So that there within itself was a variable because is it something that can be replicated in the next quarter? And it wasn't replicated in the quarter that came up. So um, I would have got note from on the release of the results because I realized that okay, the interest income wasn't replicated, and the fears that I had in terms of Omicron actually reducing the amount of visitors coming into the January February quarter or January February months actually reduced the amount of revenue that they had at that point in time. So
Wait, oh, and I think it actually is other income. I don't think it's interesting. There's other, see there, other operating income.
yeah,
Yeah, I think I know
so
what you're talking about. Like, for example, last year, maybe it was the June quarter, they dropped the good reports, but there was like a huge other income, right? And then they
mm-hmm.
didn't
Other
say
income,
what it
yeah.
was. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
what was it? I'd have to work out
Gonna
the
pull up my
exact thing.
Excel sheet because those things are variables. So I remember, so looking at the arrivals, the terminal passengers in Montego Bay for March, they got up to 385,000 at that point in time. And then if you compare it to February and January were much weaker for them because at that point, yeah, so around in February, they had the cancellation of a lot of flights and hotel bookings. So the terminal passengers that came into Jamaica in Montego Bay was 274,000 compared to that in March, which was 285,000 persons. So that's what I generally use to help gauge how how CPJ will do in terms of the volume that would have been needed from them in from the hotels and so.
Mm,
Even for this summer, we have a lot of events for this summer. So we have some fest coming up. We have dream weekend parties. We have a lot of um, activities happening in the tourist space, right?
hmm.
And if you realize now,
Nightlife is
um,
back too.
we have
There's
right
parties
exactly.
too.
Yeah, so in that space within itself, I think that CPJ will do pretty well.
But yeah, I agree. CPJ is a really great company. Really, really great company. I'm also looking forward to great things because just overall in the tourism industry, it's pretty bullish right now and the work Edmund Bartlett's doing. So I'm also pretty bullish on tourism. So yeah, I'm gonna have to revisit the both of those. Well, all three of those tourism stocks. Even everything fresh.
Especially the Cove as
Yeah,
well.
especially
Yeah, Decove.
Deco.
I think Decove will actually be interesting because people have
Yeah,
kind
it
of
should
forgot
be.
about it, and basically a lot of the same points that you laid out also can benefit Dolphin Cove. Because Dolphin Cove also has been um, pushing their marketing towards Jamaicans too. So it's not just they only get money when tourists come down. They can actually get money from
Hmm.
Jamaicans. So they're, I guess, helping to diversify the revenues then. So in times where maybe the tourism demand isn't as high, they can still be, making money. So yeah, I think
I'm looking at the Cove. The stock was what, $30, went to $30, and
seeing
it's at what,
find
16.
Decove at 10, bro. Oh my god.
Yeah. We could have buy close to 10
And
recently. It's funny how
Mm,
stocks work, It's funny how they just
funny,
go up and down. Like,
because the low over the past 6 months. So at in June the low was $12. Wow.
June 10th.
June 10th,
Yeah.
that was a month ago. A month ago.
exactly a
Wow.
month.
And nothing really has changed about the company if you think about it, because it was one of the things that really had, I think it was a bad report where they usually book book a certain expense in the final quarter, and it never looks so good.
Hmm. I
And
think the revenues. I think the
yeah,
revenues are actually lower too.
that
So it wasn't
was
just that. Like the expenses went up, like it typically apparently does in the Q4. But yeah, revenues were not as high as some of the other quarters before.
Anything you want to say to the people, Owen? Anything at all you want to talk to the people them about? Anything you want to say? Any recommendations? Any advice? Anything?
any advice. Really and truly, it's start small. So make the work that if you really want to get into investing, make the work easily digested, right? So like join groups, right? So join groups on WhatsApp, join groups on Telegram. So you have the Learn Go Invest group. You have the Stocks on the Rust group. You have all of those resources at your hand. Versus before, back in the older days, you didn't have that many resources or so many people in the investment space.
Hmm.
But you also have to take into account that not everybody that talks about stocks really and truly, um, I wouldn't say,
Understands the market
mm,
or knows what they're talking
yeah,
about. So yeah, you take everything with a
yeah,
grain of salt because these guys aren't financial
hmm
advisors. So I agree with the groups thing because that's how I learned a lot of the information. But I always double check like anything that's spoken about in a group or so on. I always
exactly.
have to Google it afterwards and just double check because at the end of the day, um,
It's your
it's
money.
your money. You get me? Like you are put. It's not because him said X Y Z means I saw it go. You see
hmm
me? You literally can't. You can't take anything, any and anything people say. Like you really have to do your own work at the end of
Exactly.
the day because it's your
So you
money.
just have to,
Hmm. The groups are very
yeah. So
useful.
this,
They really are.
they really are. They really are. The resources are there for people. Join up the news feed. As I say, you just have to take it a step at a time. You don't have to dive into it like it seems like a lot of work, but it's over time. You learn about these things over
Oh, I
time, so you
disagree. You
don't
go
have
ahead
to.
first into
Don't
investing.
rush it.
I dive straight in. Like my
Hmm?
advice to people is to dive straight in. Like if you really want to get into it and so on, right? Don't set limitations on yourself. Don't set, oh, I'm not a finance person, so I'm not going to understand this. I'm not going to understand that. I know that's probably not what necessarily what you're saying, but I'm wondering if that's what
Yeah.
some people might take away from what you're saying. Or what I'm saying is,
Uh, uh,
don't worry
Hmm.
about any of those things, right? Because finance is much simpler than a lot of people make it out to be, right? In
Hmm.
medicine, especially, right? When I started out, I thought, yo, this thing is such a foreign concept. Like, I don't understand it. But finance is in
Hmm.
front of you every day. From you use money, from you buy
exactly.
things, you understand basic things like supply and demand, right? And you just take it a
Hmm.
step further. Just take it to companies. Apply those same principles that you already know and you think you don't know just towards the market, and you'll see how it's simpler, how much simpler it makes investing. Is what I'm saying.
Hmm.
It's not trust me, it's not medicine. Finance is not medicine. So yeah.
exactly.
Hmm.
But just to clear up on what I was saying, it was more in regards to the amount of work that you put in terms of not limiting yourself in the knowledge space, but just ensuring that you don't overwhelm yourself with the investing space because there's a lot of things happening every day in investments. When you see somebody talk about this stock today, you see somebody else talk about this stock tomorrow. You don't know which stock to look on, but just take your time and um, approach it. As Stan said, you can dive deep into it, but just don't overwhelm yourself because a lot of people feel overwhelmed when they just start because they don't know what to look at or what companies to buy and all that stuff. A lot of people get to that point where they don't know what to buy and they start making silly moves and listening to the noise and all that stuff. So all I really want to say is just take it one step at a time because you'll eventually get to the point where you can say, yeah, you're making a lot of money from investing. And remember to recruit somebody. Remember to I don't even want to use the word recruit because that's sounding to me like some World Ventures type stuff. I don't even want to say that word, but encourage somebody and show them the benefits of investing. Because one thing that I typically do, I show someone, the DCA calculator that My Money J has. Big up My Money J, yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I'll put it in the description. Hmm.
yeah. So the DCA calculator where you can look on, for instance, you put in 10,000 in a stock every day, not every day, every month for 10 years, $10,000. For instance, if you did that for Caribbean Cement, um, not saying to purchase Caribbean Cement,
Capstone
just
used
using
to
an
be such a good
example,
example with that though, but now I guess not as.
not as, yeah, I get that.
I mean, I guess if you
But
extend it,
um,
how much you were saying? 10 years?
so if you invested $10,000 every month over the course of 10 years, would have invested totally $1.2 million
Hmm.
over the 10-year period, and that would have been $16 million in gains.
Your 1.2 would
So,
be worth 17.6 million Jamaican. You'd
exactly.
have made a
And that's
thousand three
over,
hundred percent.
and that's just over 10 years. Dollar cost averaging $10,000 every month. Like,
Imagine if you up it to even 15 grand. That's yeah, you've made 24 million now. Just adding 5 grand more.
yeah,
Yeah, dollar cost averaging is
exactly.
definitely something I think more. I think I'm going to try to start doing it a bit more sometimes, but I think more people should
Mm,
consider it, especially if you're a person who doesn't have necessarily a lot of free time. You don't want to be into
yeah,
the
to
markets
look
every day,
into.
but you can dollar cost average something. Just buy, and if anyone doesn't know what dollar cost averaging is, basically every set time period, say 1 week, 1 month, you just buy a set amount of shares. So you could say, well, we're using an example of Carib Cement, but say you're dealing with Grace Kennedy, or I'm going to buy $1,000 Jamaican worth of Grace Kennedy shares every Friday, regardless of the price. Or I'm going to buy 10,000 worth of shares every payday, regardless of the price. And you just consistently put in the money. And a lot of times over time, you end up can getting a better price. And if you were to just put all your money one time, because remember, sometimes the stocks will go up and they'll also go down.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So that's what I would definitely say to people. Dollar cost average and just take your time and just absorb as much as information as you can over. You don't have to stress yourself and think about, okay, this is finance, this is a whole next field. Everybody can learn, everybody can I feel like it's not that hard as people might think it is at
Mhm.
all.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah guys, so my earphone is about to die, right? And
But that's fine, bro. It's a lot of content. It's a lot of good information.
Yeah.
A lot
Definitely
of
going to have to.
yeah,
different areas and stocks we've touched on, like quite a bit. I think this is the episode where we touch on the most amount of stocks. But you're a killer, so I mean, you jump from play to play, so I fully understand that.
Yeah.
yeah, that's a try new. That's a
Yeah,
try new. So
I rate that, bro. I rate that.
Yeah, I didn't know. I rated the business side, like you said, how you used to do some stuff to hustle, but you also used to teach, right?
mhm. Yeah, yeah, I used to do tutoring as
It was
well.
free, or
So
you used to charge?
um, no, I used to charge one. That actually was pretty lucrative because um in terms of because I'm a person that believes that really and truly knowledge is power. And one of the things that I try to do in terms of even tutoring and all that, I try to break things down in the simplest form so that people can really understand the process of what is really happening. Because a lot of the thing is that in med school, it's a lot of information, right?
Hmm.
And the way I always approach it from the bottom up because where the basics, the everything down to the molecular level and how the basic anatomy or basic sciences actually work, you can actually use that knowledge to compound. And so, for instance, I would ensure that I always know the content for a course or whatever, right? I would ensure that I study up so I can understand the basic concepts. And if there are some things that I don't know, for instance,
Mhm.
when I go into the exam, I would be able to use the small building blocks to help me arrive at an answer
Mhm.
if I didn't actually study
Mhm.
what is there, right? And that's really how I approach like knowledge and learning and all that stuff.
Mhm.
Because once you understand something in its entirety, then yeah, you're golden from there. So I believe that knowledge is power. So that's really what really got me into the whole tutoring as well. So I've been hustling a long time because, as I said, really and truly, sometimes the best way is the best time when you really experience life is when you really have money, right? Because lots of the experiences in life, you need money for the experiences, man. And why wouldn't I want to use this avenue, such as investing? Because
Could be a scammer.
sometimes it's unbelievable.
Could literally be a chopper, bro. That's what I tell people because it's like investing to me is the best legal way in order to make.
Exactly, exactly, the best legal
Like
way,
we're not in
right?
the chopping business.
Still here committing criminal activity.
You get me? Like I would much rather do this and practice medicine than do anything else. So
Exactly.
yeah, I get that. And you sound like me and Preston. You sound like me and Preston because that's how I don't even know if that's how we met. Us teaching. I don't know
Hmm.
if it's if that's how we met, but that's how we used to do. Me and Preston used to run classes all the time. Used to teach all the time.
Oh yes, I remember. I remember you had a heme class one
Yeah, we
time.
used to teach
You had a
him. We used to
heme
teach
tutorial. Yeah.
nothings. We did marathons. We used to teach
Yeah.
anatomy. I used to teach for like brain training.
Hmm.
We used to teach like path. We used to teach like endocrine. We taught a lot during med school. So yeah, I get the hustler mentality. I fully get it. And I respect it, bro. Big up
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah, man.
And
Bless
keep
and
encouraging your brethren to invest because I think doctors
of
especially
course, of
need
course,
it.
of course.
Like,
Because funny enough, somebody said to me the other day that so like they asked me, so, like almost all my friends, like, and to the ones that are listening now, and you haven't opened an account yet, you're going to open your account soon because it's where a lot of people around me are really trying to help them to understand that at least put something away, put something towards your future because yeah, even though you're doing medicine and all of that, medicine won't make you all the money that you probably need or whatever, right? You have to look on other avenues, you have to look on other income streams and all that stuff. So in that regard, I really ensure that like once my friends once somebody talk about stocks, they know that yeah, Owen is going to go off. Like I remember at one point they were to get to me they just had to type stocks in the group chat so Owen could see so he could run come in the group and talk and all that stuff. Like
Uh,
it's ridiculous, right? So I want everybody to actually get into the market and actually build wealth. Build wealth not only for you, but as they typically say, build wealth, build generational wealth, right? Because this 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 really changes lives.
yeah, it
It
does.
really does.
And it's a good way for me to profit off the rich people. Because them big moves is the rich.
Exactly.
I mean, who you think owns like CPJ and them things? Them people are rich. And you can see how many shares they have in the companies. So if they have a vested interest in making money, I have a vested interest in making money too. If the rich profit, I need to
Yeah. And
profit off of them as well. You get me?
You can
So
complain or profit, or you can complain and profit.
right. Exactly. Because if you realize that's how all the rich people are. Every one of the top billionaires and all that stuff, even leeching. Like look on the whole leeching story. Like man investing, taking out a loan to make millions and purchase AIC after that, and look on him now, billionaire. Like
yacht
it's
money,
it really just hmm?
yacht money, bro, billionaire for real.
Yeah,
Mhm.
millions, billions. So yeah, But I just want to say thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, bro. Thank you for
It
coming
was
on the
really nice.
podcast.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was really nice talking to you guys and getting your insights as to how you guys also view certain things as well.
Yeah, man. Thank you for taking your
And
time out, bro. Because I know you're busy and thing. But
Hmm.
I've always wanted to have at least one student on the podcast. So
yeah,
yeah, it's
Yeah,
good. It's
like
good
your
that
story is
you.
definitely
because
really good.
I remember it's whole thing and I actually started talking, really talking about stuff was when I was at Mandeville and I was on what was on
Yes.
surgery. Yes,
What was I on?
and this man legit
Orthopedics? I don't
started.
even remember what I was on. And I stood the man in the
Yeah, and
hospital.
we just started
Yeah, we
talking.
just started talking about stocks out of nowhere. That was hilarious, actually. Because I knew you invested, because I knew from your tweets. So when I see you, it's just like,
Yeah,
finally somebody at my workplace to talk about stocks with.
Mm.
Because at the time, that's rare.
because I remember we're in the OT. Yeah, we're in the OT and you pull up J Trade and I pull up J Trade and
Yes,
we're
bro.
talking about.
Was I going into a surgery or something? I don't even remember, yo.
Yes, I think you just left out of a surgery or you're going to one.
Yeah.
But I think you were on obs at the time because you had on the water boots.
Oh yeah, that was the C-section time. That was very bad times. But yeah,
Yeah,
but I remember that. Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Well, bless up, Owen. Have a good day, man. Big up yourself, and thanks for coming on the podcast.
Yeah, thanks, man.
No problem, bro.
Yeah, man. Peace.
Later.
Mm.